Today is Darren Sammy's birthday, the only captain to have won two T20 World Cup. Is it a trend that West Indies tends to have two captains that have the captain that won the first two World Cup, just like Clive Lyde with the ODI World Cup, and afterwards we win no more? Today is Sammy's birthday. But who can forget that Sunday afternoon? It was minutes to 1 in Jamaica. Chris Jordan bowled the 19th over of the West Indies innings. 8 runs came from it. West Indies 137 for 6, chasing 155, 156 to win. It was a final over, Sunday, April 3rd, 2016, minutes to 2 in the Eastern Caribbean. The ball was tossed to Ben Stokes. The batsman facing was Carlos Brathwaite. The first delivery, he went for the Yorker. It was as if Brathwaite was waiting on it. He cleared his left leg and he hit it forward of square over the boundary, far over the boundary for 6. The English were ruffled. England spectators and those who are supporting England would have said it was a half volley. But we, the West Indians, knew it was a great shot from Brathwaite. The second delivery, more toward Miggleston, he went for the Yorker again. And Brathwaite, immaculate timing, hit it long over long on for another 6. By this time, the English were dejected. Tears were coming down the eyes of those who support the ECB. The players in the field was rotten. A friend of mine who I play domino with sometimes, when he's beating me, he would say, "Your brain gone, me lick out your brain." After that second 6, Stokes' brain went. The third ball was outside off stump. Brathwaite hit it far into the stands. I heard an English supporter said it was mistime, but that ball could not have missed time and went so far. This one run of 3 deliveries. But Brathwaite decided to end it in style. By this time, Bravo champion was playing the West Indies dugout. And the team was dancing to the tune. As expected, Stokes was down and out. He ran in almost, for want of a better word, like a zombie. And he floated up that 4th ball. Brathwaite swung across and hit it far into. They came out. By the time Brathwaite yelled, the other members of the West Indies team was on the field. What an occasion that was. On the 16th of April and the 3rd of April, 2016. Hello, everyone. Season greetings to you all. Welcome to the show. I hope that you're enjoying the festive season and doing what you always do and do the things that you enjoy. I know by this time, persons in the profession of teaching may be off from school and would have started their celebration. But let us remember those who do not have such luxuries like police and the nurses, etc. But I really hope you are having a great season. Greetings to you all. Please slash a like on the video, share, and subscribe. Now, today's show is brought to you by Cricket Village. Cricket Village sell bats, ball, pads, tips, and so on. So if you want some cricket gears to buy, click on the link in the description and support Cricket Village. They are the one who is bringing today's show. Now, let's get on to the business. People say we don't rotate our strike well. But first thing is, you have to stop us from hitting boundaries. Those were the comments from Darren Sammy before the 2016 World Cup finals. West Indies was a team that, and still now, do not rotate the strikes. I'm trying to draw a parallel between the 2016 victory and the 2021 debacle. I want to look at the real story why we won that 2016 World Cup, but we lost. Not only lost the 2021 World Cup, but we were eliminated from the Super 8. And so Darren Sammy made these comments before the finals. And yes, he was right. With a team packed with Chris Gayle, Johnson Charles, Andre Fletcher, Marlon Samuels, although he was the one who anchored the innings, he was still a six-hitter. Dwayne Bravo, Kieran Pollard, Andre Russell. It was a boundary-hitting team. And Pollard and Sammy said at the time, they can talk about us not taking singles, but if they want to stop us, they have to stop us from hitting boundaries first. And he was right. So one of the reasons why the West Indies won that first World Cup was the ability of our batsmen to hit sixes. Because in that World Cup in 2016, although we faced an average of 42 dot balls per innings, we were hitting a minimum of 8 sixes per innings, which equal to 48. 8 sixes, 48. We were hitting a six every 2.5 over in 2016. So that was one of the main reasons why we won. I'm not talking about the centuries by Chris Gayle and the performance in general because it was a good team performance. I'm trying to look at the key points. I'm looking at the key points. So there'll be a lot of things that happened that I don't mention while we won, but it's the key points. I am trying to look at the key points. And number one is that, as Sammy said, they could not stop us from hitting sixes. And he said it clearly. If they want to beat us, if they want to talk about us rotating strike, they have to stop us from hitting sixes. That was 2016. Now, the second point that I want to look at, why I think we won that World Cup, is that even when the batting didn't stood up, even when the batting made par score, even when we never made more than par, the bowling was very good. In that 2016 World Cup, the West Indies took the most wickets in that 2016 World Cup. More than any other team, the West Indies was the number one wicket-taking bowler, led by, of course, Badri, who has the lowest economy. Yes, Samuel Badri, had the lowest economy in both the 2012 and 2016 World Cup. So that was the second point, that our bowling was able to defend whatsoever the batsman made. Badri got 9 wickets. Russell also got 9 wickets, as I told you 2 days ago. This bowling attack, which after the first match, Jerome Taylor, 3 overs, went for 30. He did not see back the team. That's how good this bowling attack was. It's mostly the same 5. It was the same 5 bowlers that brought us through. There was one match where Chris Gayle bowled a few overs. I think he got a wicket or 2. And I think Badri did not bowl his 4 overs. There was also in the finals where Suleiman Ben went for 40 runs from his 3 overs, and Darren Sammy bowled the extra over. That over went for 14. So apart from the 6 hitting ability of the team in 2016, the bowling ability of that team, being able to defend whatsoever the batsman made, was a key point, was a very, very key reason why we won that World Cup. And as it said, the third reason, the other reason that I'm trying to look at here is that what I would call we had the competitive edge. Let me show you. We had the competitive edge in 2016. Look at this chart on the screen. This chart on the screen showed you that West Indians were playing more T20 than any other nation. Those are the leading 10 T20 players in between 2012 and 2016. At the start of the IPL, other countries apart from the West Indies, were reluctant to send their players to the IPL. So West Indies players were one of the largest contingents in that IPL. And these players at IPL would come back and share the information and the knowledge with our other players in the West Indies. And that gave us a competitive edge in the 2016 World Cup. Because between 2012 and 2016, where we won 2 World Cups and reached the semifinals in 2014, Darren Bravo was playing more T20 cricket than any other cricketer. Yes, Dwayne Bravo was playing more T20 cricket than any other cricketer, followed by Kieran Pollard. So the top 7 players with the largest numbers of T20 cricket between 2012 and 2016 were all West Indians. And that gave us a competitive edge. And as Badri said, we had personnel. We had personnel who could do that. Opposition teams weren't quite ready for that. They didn't plan for that. In addition to the smaller grounds and the conditions that were on offer. That's what Badri said. So apart from the fact that we have the competitive edge, apart from the fact that we have the best bowling in the competition, apart from the fact that our players were most experienced players in T20 cricket, we also had the competitive edge because we were prepared for them, which they didn't prepare in the way we were prepared. And that is why that is why Sammy said, first thing first, they can't talk about singles until they can stop us from hitting sixes. And Badri is here doubling down on that and saying, we had personnel could do that. Opposition teams weren't quite ready for that. They didn't plan for that. In addition, Keely, and very important, the grounds in India were small and the conditions there were ideal for West Indies cricket. Now, what condition? This statement from Gaurav Sundararaman, 2016, Gaurav was the analyst for West Indies at the World Cup. He was our analyst. I don't know if we have an analyst now. I don't know his name if we do one. But at the 2016 World Cup, Gaurav Sundararaman was the analyst. And he said this: the importance of the toss was crucial and the venues. The importance of the toss and the venues should not be underestimated in 2016. West Indies won 6 tosses, and out of the 6th time, they choose to bowl every time. So West Indies won 6 tosses out of 6, and on each occasion, Darren Sammy decided to bowl. 5 of those matches were played at nights. So West Indies had the opportunity to bat in the night when the dew was set in. So this was very crucial also to that victory. West Indies batted last, second in all of the matches that they played in 2016 when the dew set in. The one match that was played in the daytime against Afghanistan, although the bowlers got Afghanistan limited, Afghanistan to 123, we could only muster 117. And that was the only match that we lost in 2016. So the toss and the venue also played an important role in West Indies winning that 2016 World Cup. So I've gone through the 6 hitting. We have batsmen who could hit 6s. And we did hit 6s, hitting on an average 8 6s per match, on an average. We have the bowlers to defend whatsoever total that we made. And even when we made a par total, the bowling was there, led by Badri. We had the personnel. It's very important too that we keep on winning the toss. We keep on winning the toss. And people mention about Marlon Samuels and the innings of Gale and Brathwaite, 4 6s. Yes, but I take out these 4 points, which in my opinion, I don't know how many persons were considering them. But these were the 4 points that I took out from the 2016, which were key to us winning the 2016 World Cup. Now, 5 years later, in 2021, what really happened? Because our performance in 2016 was 6 or bust. You can't stop us from hitting the boundary. So we are going to continue with the same approach. Was that the same approach from the West Indies? Because in that first match in 2021, so I gave you my opinions on why I think we win the 2016 World Cup. And I'm very happy that we won. Now I'm going to look at the 2021 World Cup, why we lost. So the first thing is, we went there with the same attitude, with the same players, with almost the same players from 2016, the golden generation of West Indies cricketers who won us 2 World Cups. Now, after being bowled out by England for 55 in that first match, Pollard said, bin it and move on. In other words, he was saying that that performance should be thrown in the rubbish. That's a rubbish performance. So we're going to forget that performance and we are going to move on. But what that performance told me, and the writing should have been on the wall for the West Indies, is that the 6 or bus approach that we had in 2016 not going to work in 2017, in 2021. Because as Badri said, we had the personnel to do that. And although these personnel, more or less, the core of the team was the same team, they were 5 years older. And I'm not discriminating against age. But we all know that the older you get when you're playing sport, that there are certain criteria that are not as sharp as they was when you're younger, when you're in that sweet spot between 26 and 32. It is said that the sportsman's sweet spot is between the age of 26 and 32. There are a number of players who, although have won two World Cups and some won, that were still in that team, that were beyond the sweet spot. The other thing, though, in addition, teams were now ready for the 6 or bus approach from the West Indies. Teams were now ready for that 6 or bus approach from the West Indies. They were now more prepared for it. And in the UAE, very importantly, in the UAE, the grounds were bigger. So it was naturally harder to hit 6s in the UAE. So our approach has to be changed. Now, I think the West Indies did try, but I think they got it wrong. So this is it. Pollard said in Grenada, this was before the World Cup, and you must remember that before the T20 World Cup in 2021, we had about 17 T20 games in the Caribbean, include 5 against Australia. And if memory serves me right, we beat Australia 4-1. Pollard said in Grenada, we need to maneuvering the game, just rotating the ball. That's what Pollard said. That they were practicing rotating and maneuvering the game. And were penalized for hitting boundaries. The intention, Pollard said, was to keep our strength and work on our weaknesses. That second part, to me, contradicts the first part where it said that we were penalized for hitting boundaries. Now, how can you penalize somebody from hitting a boundary in cricket? How can you penalize someone for hitting a 6 in cricket? Does that make sense? It doesn't make sense to me. I think that's a negative approach. Because although you're encouraging me to rotate the strike, and don't get me wrong, I believe that 30 singles off 30 balls is better than 30 off 30 balls where you hit some 4 and some 6s. I know the importance of rotating the strike. So don't get me wrong. I know the importance. But you cannot penalize someone in cricket for hitting a 4 or a 6. In my opinion, the penalty should have been you penalize the person for dot balls. Because that is what you're trying to minimize. You are not trying to minimize the hitting of 6s and the hitting of 4s. That's not what you're trying to minimize. You are trying to minimize the number of dot balls that we face per innings. And so, leading up to that 2021 World Cup, this strategy was wrong, where you were penalizing persons for hitting 6s and 4s. And Puran said it. Puran said it for the last couple of months. Everything was about singles, singles, singles. That's what Puran said. For the last couple of months, everything was about singles, singles, singles. But that I understand. But you cannot penalize someone for hitting 4s and 6s. So I think once again, West Indies get that strategy wrong. Because although they were in Grenada practicing according to the captain to maneuver game and to rotate strikes, it didn't show up in the World Cup. Now look at this. In the World Cup, in 2016, the West Indies faced 42 dot balls per innings. And we were hitting sixes every 2.5 overs, as I told you. We were hitting roughly 8 sixes per game. In 2021, although it is said that we're working on dot balls in Grenada, that's what it said now. That's what Pollard and Pooran said. We were working on rotating the strike, trying to maneuver games in Grenada. Yet still, our dot ball percentage went up in 2021 and our six hitting ability decreased. Now, here is the thing. First thing first. Remember I showed you the chart that between 2012 and 2016, West Indians were playing more T20 game than any other nation. When you look at 2017 to 2021, that figure changed. Of the top T20 players in the world, appearance-wise, only Pollard with 234 and Samuel Narayan in 10th position with 185 were West Indians in that top 10. What that told me, and should also be telling you, is that that competitive edge that we had in 2016 was gone. Countries now realize that it is very important that they give their players as much experience as possible when it comes to the T20 game. So while between 2012 and 2016, West India's cricketers have a virtual manipulation on the T20 game. Between 2017 and 2021, that manipulation changed and teams were more prepared for our six or bust attitude. So when we were in Grenada practicing rotating strikes and penalizing batsmen for hitting boundaries, we were doing the wrong thing. What we should have been working on in Grenada is not penalizing our batsmen for hitting sixes and fours. But what we should have been working on is to teaching them new strokes, like the reverse sweep. Yes, that's what we should have been teaching them. The reverse sweep, we should have been teaching them the switch hit. We should have teaching them the Dilshan scoop. We should have been teaching them the ramp. Because most West Indies batsmen, if you look back at the 2016 World Cup, you will see that most of our sixes were hit straight down the ground. We tend to hit our sixes straight and hit them in the V. So teams were now better prepared from us. And so because we didn't develop our game, we didn't evolve our game and start playing different strokes, it was easier to bowl to us in 2021 than it was to bowl to us in 2016. Because in 2016, we were hitting 2.5 sixes per game. So every 2.5 overs, we were hitting a six in 2016. But by it comes to 21, we were hitting a six every 3.5 overs because teams were now better prepared for us than they were in 2016. And as Bishop said, Ian Bishop said, they have to evolve. They have to be more versatile. They have to be more versatile. And that's what we lack in 21 because we were that versatile enough to, as I said, play different strokes, like the switch it, the reverse sweep, the ramp, and so on. We were not playing those strokes in 20, so we were easier to bowl to. At certain venues, it may not be always sixes because the larger grounds in the UAE never contribute to the six hitting that we usually do on the smaller grounds. It may be fours. It may just be scoring off more deliveries. That is why Bishop is saying that we were not versatile. We went to the 2021 World Cup with the same approach that we went to the 2016 World Cup, and teams were more prepared. Teams were more prepared for us at the 2021 World Cup. At the 2016 World Cup, West Indies faced 56% of the deliveries that West Indies faced. We played attacking shots off. That means more than half of the deliveries, 56%. Remember that figure. 56% of the deliveries that we faced at the 2016 World Cup. I got this particular information from CricViz. CricViz, the statistics site, 56% of the deliveries that West Indies faced in the 2016 World Cup, we played attacking shots off. In the 2021 World Cup, we played more attacking shots, 57%, but yet still our totals were smaller. Our totals were smaller in 2021 than in 2016, although we play more attacking shots in 2021. So let me go over that again. In 2021, we played more attacking shots than in 2016, but yet still, we hit fewer sixes in 2021 than in 2016. Why? They were prepared for us. Let me give you an idea or two how they were prepared for us. MS Dhoni, when the CSK were playing against the Mumbai Indians, they set a man straight for Pollard, almost behind the umpire, as straight as was practical, as long as he was not behind the bowler arm. They set up a fielder there for Pollard. South Africa did the same thing. And there are many more incidents, but I'm just putting 2 or 3 out there. South Africa in the World Cup did the same thing, just to show your teams were more prepared for the West Indies in 2021. At the World Cup in 2021, South Africa did the same thing. They set a field as straight as possible for Pollard. What happened? He got out caught. In the IPL, before the World Cup, Pooran was murdering the bowling. Any team that turned into Pooran, gone. In the World Cup, only 3 leg breaks were bowled to Pooran. 3. Only 3 leg breaks were bowled to Pooran in the entire World Cup. No one turned any delivery into Pooran during the World Cup. That's how team was strategizing for us. Another one that came to mind, and I think Lockie Ferguson was the first one to do it in 2020. You remember those 4 sixes that Brathwaite hit off Ben Stokes? All of those deliveries, Ben Stokes was going for the Yorker. Bowlers stopped bowling Yorker to West Indies batsmen because they realized they are good straight hitters. And so they went hard into the pitch to our batsmen. So I just mentioned those 3, and the list could go on and on and on. But just to show you, our teams were strategizing for the West Indies in 2021. And we, as Bishop said, we did not evolve. We were in Grenada penalizing our batsmen for hitting 6 and 4, instead of teaching them to add to their repertoire of strokes, because we are so easy to bowl to nowadays, because we do not add to our repertoire of strokes. We are still playing in the V and playing the cut shots, and bowlers are working us out. And until we add to our repertoire of strokes, and I've listed them, the switch it, the reverse sweeps, and maybe a West Indian batsman can invent a new stroke. Until we do that, we will continue to be easy to bowl to. But apart from our batting in 2021, our bowling was also a problem. Because remember, I told you that in 2016, West Indies got the most wicket in the World Cup. The reverse was true for 2021. We got the least number of wickets in the World Cup. That's how poor our bowling was in the 2021 World Cup. I think we got only 16 wickets in all in that 2021 World Cup. In fact, in our last two games, we conceded 350 runs of 36 deliveries. In our last two games, only picking up 5 wickets in our last two games while conceding 350 runs of 36 over, not even the 40 overs. That's how poor our bowling was in the 2021 World Cup. So while in 2016, we have the best strategy, we have the most experienced T20 players, and we were playing on short fields, small fields, and we won all the toss and batted second. By 2021, that had changed. We were playing on bigger fields. Teams were more prepared for us. We never won all the toss, and we did not evolve. The team's strategy was better than us in 2021. Now, that, my friend, is how I summarize what's the difference between 2016 and 2021. Please slash a like on the video, share, and subscribe. But listen, I am going to come back tomorrow with another video. And in it, I'm going to lay down my plan on how West Indies can turn it around. And so I will give it to you then. Because when I speak in this community, I don't expect that everyone will agree with me. But I'm just hoping that I will say something, 2 or 3 things that at least make sense to you, and we can start the conversation for the betterment of West Indies cricket. So those were my views on how we won the 2016 World Cup and how we lost. We did not lose the 2021 World Cup. We were eliminated from the Super 12 stage to the qualifiers. And when you look at it, these were the players that played in that 2021 World Cup. These are the players that played those 5 matches. And when you look at it, even when you look at that first match, Simmons, Bravo, Pollard, Russell, these guys were all above their sweet spot. Rampal, the Russell, the Pollard, the Bravo, the Gale, the Simmons. 6 of those 11 players were above that sweet age when it comes to sportsman. They were above 32. And as I said, I'm not discriminating against age, but they might just have slowed down a little. And in addition to that, as Bishop said, they did not evolve. And apart from being not evolved, the opposition also strategized better 2021 than in 2016. And so that, my friends, that my community members, is my take on why we won the 2016 World Cup and we lost the 2021. Now, there's a lot of blame going around to the CPL and how the CPL can be structured. But I will address all of those concerns in my next video. But before I go, and I want to apologize for not taking your comments today, but I promise you, I really sincerely apologize. But in the next show, I'll spend a lot of time on your comment, and I hope for some feedback in that show on this one. In the next show tomorrow, please, put your comments in the comment section. I will answer them tomorrow morning. But I have an engagement very shortly. So I apologize for not taking your comment. But I want to leave with a comment, 2 comments from Badri. And if these are true, we are in trouble. It's the same guys you are seeing here after here. He's talking about the CPL. We are not seeing our young batsmen coming through because they are not given an opportunity. Badri. This is what Badri said. It's the same guys you are seeing here after here. We are not seeing our young batsmen coming through because they are not given an opportunity. Do you agree with Badri? He went on further, and this, my friend, is alarming. As it is now, if you are not known personally, he said, if you are not known personally, this is Samuel Badri talking. Personally, he said, if you are not known personally to the captain or a coach or an owner, you are not going to get selected. And younger players are suffering because of that. Samuel Badri said that. Do you agree? This is serious. Apart from everything that I just discussed, apart from Bishop talking about we are not evolving, and I showed you how we are not evolving. If Badri is right, this is serious. It's the same players year after years. The younger ones are not given the opportunity. But he's saying for the younger one to get the opportunity, they have to know the coach personally. Or they know the captain personally. Or they know the owner personally. Is that what the CPL is all about? Do you agree with Badri? Thank you everyone for tuning in. Please slash a like on the video, share and subscribe. May you have a wonderful evening. Until tomorrow, take care of yourself, take care of your loved ones. Have a great evening.